Welcome back to Authentically Parenting. This week was Mother's Day. And honestly, most of the day was really beautiful. My kids did so many beautiful things for me. They made little cards, created this whole spa experience at home, brought me snacks, hugged me all day long. And at one point, I remember just sitting there quietly and thinking, wow, Mother's Day feels so different now. Because I remember years ago, Mother's Day used to hurt me in ways I didn't fully understand back then. I used to carry so many expectations toward my husband. I really wanted him to somehow make me feel deeply loved and deeply cherished and deeply prioritized. And no matter what he did, it never fully landed. Not because he did nothing, but because back then I was coming from such a deep inner lack that nothing outside of me could fully fill it. I wanted to be seen. I wanted to be chosen, emotionally held. But but I wasn't even giving those things to myself yet. And over the years, through a lot of healing and inner work, things genuinely changed. So this year honestly felt softer, lighter, more peaceful, and I truly enjoyed the day. But towards the end of the night, something happened that cracked open a deeper realization inside me. And I wanted to share it because I think so many parents silently experience moments like this, but feel ashamed to talk about them honestly. And if you're new here, hi, I'm Jahanvi Shah, certified conscious parenting coach and a founder of Authentically Parenting. And on this channel, we talk honestly about parenting, emotional healing, the nervous system, and what's really happening underneath these hard moments without shame, perfectionism, or pretending. So, towards the end of the night, I asked my kids for one thing, just one thing that I really wanted. I asked them to clean the kitchen so I wouldn't have to deal with it that night. We had taken out food, there wasn't that much to do, right? That was my thing. And they did clean it, but not fully. So I walked into the kitchen and realized I still had to finish it myself. And something inside me just snapped. Now, what's interesting is there are many, many days my kids help me and don't do things exactly the way I would do them. And usually I can let it go. So this wasn't really about perfection. It wasn't really about the dishes either. It was about what the unfinished kitchen meant inside my nervous system. Because the moment I realized I still had to finish it, my body immediately went into seriously, even today, one day I asked for one thing. And before I even fully realized what was happening, I was unloading years of invisible emotional weight onto my children. I started saying things, random things like 364 days, I do everything. I asked for one thing this one day, and you guys did all the things you wanted to do for me. But the one thing I actually asked for, you couldn't do it. And even while I was saying it, there was a part of me watching myself thinking, Jahanvi, this is too much. But I couldn't stop. I couldn't stop in the moment. And I think this is what so many parents don't realize. Sometimes our reactions are not only about the moment happening in front of us, sometimes they're about years of emotional exhaustion quietly building underneath the surface. And special days like birthdays, anniversaries, Mother's Days, holidays, they carry emotional meaning in our hearts. So little disappointments can suddenly feel very, very big emotionally. Not because we are dramatic, not because we are needy, but because symbolic days quietly awaken deeper longing inside us. The longing to feel seen, cherished, prioritized, relieved, held, deeply considered. So when I walked into that unfinished kitchen, I didn't just feel unfinished. It felt like even today, I'm still carrying everything. And I think that's the part that hit me so deeply. Because growing up, love in my family came a lot through responsibility, sacrifice, caretaking, obedience. It was the good girl, the emotionally responsible one, the one who behaved, the one who carried things quietly. I was even expected to monitor my older sister sometimes and make sure that she wasn't doing things she shouldn't do. So my nervous system learned something very young. My job is to carry things emotionally, mentally, and energetically. And I want to say something really important here too. When I share things about my childhood or family patterns, this is never about blaming or shaming anyone. Honestly, I truly believe our parents were carrying things too, right? Most people are simply living and parenting from patterns they themselves never had the awareness, right? The language or the support to understand. And I actually feel incredibly grateful that these awarenesses are opening for me now. Because even though I know I'm not going to heal everything perfectly in one generation, I can feel the cycle beginning to shift. And that feels meaningful to me. I know I have already spilled some of my own pain and overwhelm onto my children at times, and I'm sure there will still be moments moving forward where I get things wrong too. Not intentionally, but because I'm human. And I think healing is not about becoming a perfectly healed parent. It's about becoming a more aware one, more accountable one, more connected one. And children who grow up carrying emotional responsibility often become adults who secretly long for something very deep, not just help, relief. To not always be the mentally holding everything together, to not always be the one anticipating everything, managing everything, thinking about everything. And I think when I walked into that kitchen that night, what hurt wasn't really they didn't clean well enough. What hurt was I'm still carrying. And here's the part that really broke my heart afterward. My daughter, my daughter started crying while I was talking. And instead of softening, I got angrier because some part of me felt, now you are upset. What about me? And honestly, looking back now, I don't think that was the adult version of me speaking in that moment. I think that was the little girl inside me. The little girl, the little John who learned very early to carry things quietly. The little girl who hoped someone would notice how much she was holding without her having to beg for acknowledgement. The little girl who learned to suppress needs, be good, stay responsible, stay mature, and keep everything together. And I think in that moment, that younger part of me was finally screaming, can somebody please see how much I carry? Not because I wanted to hurt my children, not because I wanted them to feel bad, but because pain that stays unseen for too long eventually comes out as protest. And underneath my anger was actually hurt. There was grief, exhaustion, longing, years of emotional carrying. And I desperately wanted my pain to land. I wanted someone to finally understand how much I carried without me having to completely fall apart to prove it. And I think many parents know this feeling, that feeling of, can somebody please understand how overwhelmed I am without me reaching my breaking point first? But what I understand now is that while my nervous system was protesting, hers, my daughter's, was shutting down. My daughter wasn't trying to manipulate me. She wasn't trying to avoid responsibility. Her nervous system was overwhelmed too. My son kept trying to hug me to calm me down, My daughter froze and cried. And honestly, that part hurts for me to even say it out loud, because I know my children should not have to regulate my pain for me. But I also think conversations like this matter because so many loving parents have moments like these and feel terrified to admit them out loud, especially parents doing deep healing work, because there's this belief that healing means you never get triggered again. But healing is not becoming emotionless. Healing is becoming aware faster. Healing is recognizing what's happening inside you sooner. Healing is taking accountability faster, repairing faster, understanding yourself more deeply, understanding your child more deeply, choosing connection again after the hard moments. And later that night, after I had calmed down, I repaired with my kids. Not perfectly, not with some magical parenting script, just honestly. And one of the things I made sure my kids understood was this, that what happened was not their fault. Yes, the kitchen situation triggered something inside me, but my reaction belongs to me. That was mommy's overwhelm, mommy's emotional buildup, mommy's pain spilling over. Not their burden to carry. And I also made sure they knew something else too. What they did for me that day was actually incredibly thoughtful and beautiful, and truly did make me feel loved. And I never want one hard moment to erase all the goodness and effort and love and care they poured into that day. And the next morning, I woke my daughter up early for her field trip. And when she hugged me, I could still feel the love between us. And honestly, that moment almost made me cry, because I realized something really important. The relationship survived my humanity. And I think many of us grew up believing relationships only stayed safe if we got everything right. But healthy connection is not built through perfection. It's built through honesty, repair, accountability, returning back to each other. Now, that doesn't mean we excuse our reactions. I don't want my pain spilling into my children like that either, because I also know that when parents suppress their needs for too long, eventually those needs come out sideways as anger, as resentment, as emotional flooding, as overreaction. And I think many of us were raised to keep carrying, keep functioning, keep minimizing our needs, keep being good, keep holding everything together until eventually the nervous system says, I'm raising my hand. I can't carry this alone anymore. I'm done. So maybe the goal isn't becoming a perfect parent. Maybe the goal is learning to listen to ourselves earlier, to honor our limits earlier, right? To ask for support earlier, to stop waiting until the nervous system is screaming before we acknowledge that we are overwhelmed, right? And if you're watching this right now and thinking, oh my God, this is me, I just want you to know your nervous system may have learned to survive by carrying too much for too long. And awareness like this is where healing begins. So I'm so glad you're here listening to this right now. And if this video spoke to something deep inside you, I love for you to start with my free Heart Parenting Guide. It's a gentle place to begin understanding your triggers, your nervous system, and the deeper emotional patterns underneath your reactions as a parent. I will leave the link for you below in the description. Don't forget to grab it. And if you want deeper ongoing support and conversations like these, you can join the Authentically Parenting community. It's waiting for you. It's a very warm, supportive space filled with parents doing this inner work together without shame and without pretending. I would love to welcome you inside. And before you go, if this video made you feel seen in some way, make sure you subscribe. Share this with another parent who may need this today. And I would love for you to tell me in the comments, what do you think? What do you think your nervous system has been carrying for too long? And honestly, when you share your stories here, it really makes me feel seen too. Because I think all of us heal a little more when we realize we're not carrying these things alone anymore. Sending you so much love.